Hey, this is Tony Bird. Welcome to another episode of Asking for a Friend. This week we're with Mercedes Leahy from John L. Scott, the downtown version. Let's just start by telling the internet about yourself.
Yes, awesome. Well, my name's Mercedes and I'm with John L. Scott. I got my license in June of 2018, so not that long ago, but before that was the marketing coordinator for the downtown office and then was the office administrator for a couple years. So been sort of related to real estate for a while. I predominantly have been helping a lot of people relocate from Seattle and some other first-time home buyers. Those are kind of my big client base right now. But yeah.
All right, so you said you help a lot of people move from the west side of the state. What are some of the reasons they're coming this way?
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons that people are moving from the west side to Spokane. The cost of living is one huge factor that I think pops into people's heads right away. The median home price in King County right now is about $565,000.
Wow.
In Spokane, it's around $240,000. So that definitely helps. There's a lot of people who have never been able to own a home who can purchase a home here. Or maybe they're able to upsize or downsize, retire here, whatever that might be. And traffic is a big thing.
Yeah.
So I grew up on the west side, and there are 100,000 more people that live in Snohomish County where I grew up than when I graduated from high school. So yeah, definitely no traffic helicopters here in Spokane on the news, like
Right.
on the west side.
Yeah, here, I mean, the big difference is, like, obviously if you, like, my wife grew up over there and, you know, you're 20 minutes from a mile away, and here you're 20 minutes from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's obviously a huge factor in quality of life, if nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. People are they move over here and they're like, of course I'll live in Airway Heights and commute to Spokane Valley. There's no traffic. My commute's half as long. I get to spend all this time with
Right.
my family, which, you know, when you're from Spokane, you maybe don't think that way, but
Yeah.
that's the great part about helping people from the west side. They really appreciate it.
So what are some of the challenges they face during this relocation process?
Yeah, definitely the biggest challenge I would say is being able to come over and physically look at houses. Especially in the wintertime, Seattleites do not want to drive over the pass and deal with any snow or anything like that. So I've had a lot of people where we will FaceTime through the house. If it's somewhere where there's no service, I can take a video and send it later. You know, my biggest suggestion is for people to try and make a weekend trip out of it, which there's some great, you know, hotels and that kind of stuff in the area. And I can help put together relocation packets and that kind of thing for people so they can kind of check out the whole space while they're here. But yeah, being there physically in person is definitely the number one option. Video, FaceTime is kind of number two. I've also had people who trust my judgment and buy houses sight unseen, and so far that's worked okay, but don't recommend that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know.
You're good at your job, but I don't know if I would
So.
be like, yeah, choose me a house.
Right.
So you said they can, obviously, like, once they find a home that they want to see, they either walk through it with you or walk through it with you FaceTiming or whatever. How can they see homes that are actually on the market and those kind of things while they're in Seattle online?
Yeah, so most people nowadays find their homes on the internet. So I think people tend to gravitate towards Zillow first. And because Zillow pulls from so many different sources of information, it can tend to be inaccurate. So I recommend HomeSnap, which is an app or a website. It pulls directly through the Spokane MLS. And you'll get the most up-to-date information. It's accurate. And I am able to go in through my side and get a lot of information as well. So it's really kind of streamlines the process.
I think with, like, the big thing with Zillow is obviously, like, they supposedly have the most information and all those kind of things, but, like, the way the market is, right? Like, you have to be accurate today, not yesterday or the day before, or you're wasting your time. And okay, so they can go, it's homesnap.com, right?
Yeah.
And so if they want to go to say search on your website, how would they find that?
Just homesnap.com/Mercedes-Leahy. That's it. Put it on the screen.
All right, I'm sure they've heard of Spokane if they're over there, but what should people that aren't from Spokane know about Spokane?
Yeah, so as someone who grew up on the west side, I think Spokane gets this reputation when you're from Seattle area that it's out in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing to do. which I know your wife knows is
Yeah.
not true. And I have learned as well. I've been here about 6 years, and there are so many restaurants and places to go do outdoor activities, things with your kids. There's great outdoor activities, lakes, mountains for hiking and skiing and snowboarding. And I think Spokane is a really unique place where you can actually network super easily. It's a very small town feel for being the second largest city in the state. So, you're able to talk to anybody and they'll immediately connect you with other people. So if you're a young professional trying to network, or you're just trying to find, a great plumber or a great babysitter, it's a very small town feel. So you get that support, which I really love.
Good answer. So you're doing something I think unique too, is you do have a blog that you're doing that's not necessarily like directly tied to real estate. Can you tell people about that?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that I have found in life that I love are people who are really passionate about whatever it is that they do, whether it's building fences or, owning a small business of any kind, owning a restaurant, whatever it might be. People really nerd out and love whatever it is that they do. And those people are so fascinating to me. So I started a video blog called Heart of Spokane. So I'm interviewing people who love what they do. And it's been really cool. There's a lot of commonalities between people, and I've been able, every person I talk to, they're like, you have to go talk to this person who does this random thing that just is so fascinating. So it's been really cool to connect with the small business community in Spokane and some other nonprofits and that kind of thing. So trying to get other people's stories out there, share with the world these great, passionate Spokanites, and connect each other, connect them to maybe some people from the west side even, just to show them who the people are in Spokane.
Perfect. We'll tag that below, so go check that out. Okay, so we ask this every episode. Favorite place to eat or grab a drink in Spokane?
So it's a really hard question because there are a lot of really good places to eat and drink. But my husband and I just went for Inlander Restaurant Week to the Wandering Table, and it's one of my favorite places in Spokane and Kendall Yards. They have this really fun thing you can do where you pay a certain dollar amount for a chef's choice meal, and they just bring out mystery items that you get to try, and it's so good. And I had the best old fashioned ever there as well. So I love the Wandering Table.
The old fashioned is also my drink of choice, and I have not had one there, but I will soon.
Perfect.
So they can obviously find you at Heart of Spokane or some of your content. If they need you specifically for real estate, where can they find you?
The best way to get a hold of me for real estate would definitely be to call me, 509-389-5320. You can also find me on Facebook too, which I'm sure you'll link to.
Yeah. We'll see you next week on Asking for a Friend.